Hey guys, this is Rob Johnson from Robb Johnson Media. And I just want to let you guys know Latour's one of the best brands out there for activewear. No matter if you're hiking, running, playing golf, playing tennis, it doesn't matter what you're doing. When you have on this right here, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, you feel good and your performance will be great. Latour's, check it out today at latour's.com. Whether it's basketball, football, you're out. Or baseball, whatever you're into when it comes to sports, you can find it right here. Now, play my intro. Now, welcome to the Robb Johnson Sports Show, presented by Robb Johnson Media and the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Robb Johnson Sports Show, episode 62. Right now, we are embroiled in a great tennis match. Polini and Krejcikova. Right now, Krejcikova won the first set 6-2. Polini won the second set 6-2. So 6-2, 6-2 here. As we're watching, I can't show you the footage because of copyright, etc. Right now, Polini has the advantage. Krejcikova is up 5-4. Polini has the advantage. We'll see if she can win this set, this point here, and make it 5-5. Nope. The advantage goes to no one. Back at 40-40. Back at 40-40. Like I said, both players won their respective sets 6-2, 6-2. They're doing a review. That ball was in. Just a really good tennis match here. A great Wimbledon final. Of course, as you guys know, in August we have the U.S. Open. So we will talk more about this situation coming up. We'll talk more about this matchup as is. Like I said, it's 40-40. I'm trying to see who will get the point here. Because if Polini wins the match, wins this, then it'll go 5-5, and you have to win by 2. For those who don't know the rules, if Polini were to win this set, it would have to be 7-5 or at least be a 2-point advantage. So as we're sitting here now, Krejcikova has the advantage, 5-4 championship point here at Wimbledon. Let's see what she can do here. She hits it. It lucky was out. Back. Oh, Krejcikova goes into the net, guys. Back to 40-40. This is an absolute barn burner of a tennis match. This has been an absolute crazy Wimbledon so far. I expected Coco Gauff to get further than what she did. But, you know, you cannot beat this final. You cannot beat this final here. So we'll see who can gain the advantage. Looks like the serve was off. They'll give them another opportunity here. Guys, you know, look at Polini. She's number 7 in the world. Krejcikova. Polini hit into the net. The advantage goes back to Krejcikova. Krejcikova is number 31 in the world, while Polini is number 7. Either way, Krejcikova is going to gain some headway here. She might be top 10, maybe top 15. Especially if she wins. She has the advantage. Championship point number 3 here. Krejcikova wins. It's over. It's over. Krejcikova wins. She wins Wimbledon. That is very impressive, folks. I mean, Wimbledon is one of the great. She comes from the Czech Republic. Ranked number 31 in the world. She's 28 years old. Um, she's 20. I believe this is her second Grand Slam. I think she's won one, but she's 28 years old, and that is just huge for her to win this matchup today. As she's number 31. Let me see. Let me see if I can get this other. So we got Jasmine Polini. She is out of France. She's out of Italy. I'm sorry. Um, let's see here. Let's see how old she is. I forgot her age actually. She's 28 years old. So we have two 28-year-olds here at Wimbledon. Two players who are not old by any stretch, but 28 years old. Just a great day of tennis. Like I said, both players won their respective sets 6-2, 6-2, and just very, very impressed. Folks, I want to get to last night a little bit. Let's talk a little summer league. Last night, the Lakers had their summer league game. Of course, Bronny James, I believe he had 8 points. Dalton Connect had another decent outing. I believe he had over 20 points. Don't quote me if I'm wrong on that, but it's very impressive. Now, what I was really impressed by was the second game. The second game in Vegas where you had Atlanta against the Washington Wizards. You had the two rookies, number 1, number 2 pick. They showed the stands when everybody just left out, when Bronny left and when Bronny and the Lakers left. And hey, it's the brand of the Lakers, so you have to expect that. But I really liked what those two rookies did last night. Atlanta, I think they're going to regret not picking Sarr in the future. I think he's a big man who has a lot of potential. He has a really good jump shot, can block shots. They didn't do a bad job either with Razar coming to Atlanta. Of course, they traded Murray, which I said they were going to do because there was no way they were going to keep both of them on their roster. So I think that last night, and I think what people need to really understand, folks, is there's some really good rookies in this draft class. And I think people are going to look back in the future and say, damn, we could have actually given these guys a little more respect than what we did. But hey, it is what it is. You can't complain with the results. People showed off for Bronny James. They showed off for the Lakers. The Lakers are a brand. We understand that. But just remember, there are other teams out there. There are other players out there who are just as important as the Los Angeles Lakers. It's just not the Lakers. It's other teams as well. Now, I want to get to this next thing, folks. I want to get to this young lady right here, Angel Reese. This is what I've been trying to relay to people, right? And this young lady right here, okay, Caitlin Clark. Listen, they're not the same people. They're different people. We have got to stop. And I mean this, folks. Listen, if there's a thread on the internet where we're talking about Caitlin Clark, we're talking about Angel Reese, could we please just talk about the one player? When we talk about the one player, we don't have to talk about both players. Both players are not connected at the hip. They had a national championship game. Angel Reese did this. Everybody lost their mind. Now all of a sudden, doubles don't matter, which is absolutely crazy to me. I just think that we as individuals out here and I'm a part of the media, so I can say this. It influences the people. The people get very influenced by what they see. I don't think that people need to be getting disinfluenced by the media. As you see, it's making racial tensions high. And my question to all you out there is, if you are letting Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese get you this riled up racially, I mean, how? I mean, it's basketball. And I think the problem I have is when I'm looking at a Caitlin Clark game, or I want to hear about Caitlin Clark. I know sometimes players are tied at the hip, but we see this in all genres. It's like you see somebody and they want to tie them to the person. No, I think it's lazy. I feel like a lot of people out there really don't know the women's game the way they say they do. They hear names and they just want to start spewing. First of all, Angel Reese's streak was 15 games of double doubles. It is legit. I don't care if she did back into the paint with 7 seconds ago. Who said? Listen, there's this unwritten rule where if it's time running down the clock, you gotta stop playing. Who made that rule? Who made that rule? To me, you got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. You got to keep doing what you're doing. I have no problem with players who keep on playing. I have no problem whatsoever. because all these unwritten rules sometimes look very suspicious, especially when you talk about gambling and everything. Let's say a team has a 5, 6, 7 point lead, and you just want to just run the clock out. Let me just run. No, if you have something you want to accomplish, you need to get it done. And let's be honest about Angel Reese here, folks. Angel Reese knows that her back is up against the wall. A lot of people said that when she came to this league, she wouldn't be good. They said she didn't have any skill, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's showing folks that she does have skill. She's a very beautiful young lady who has skill, who I think has changed the game. But yet still, you have folks out there who want to call, and I'm not, and I'm saying it is racial, but it's not racial, because you got black folks who don't like Angel Reese. Let's be honest about this. And they just despise her, and it's kind of funny to me. I think it's hilarious, but hey, that's just me. But getting off those two, and yesterday, Caitlin Clark, she did a very good job. She scored 20+ points. She had the assists. She had the rebounds. But the one big reason that Indiana continues to win is this, and I don't have the complete stats. When I get those stats, I'm probably going to do it next week when me and Larry do, I believe it'll be episode 66 of the Robb Johnson Sports Show. When Aaliyah Boston scores and Aaliyah Boston's not in foul trouble, that's when his team wins. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. Aaliyah Boston, well, they won 13 games last year. You add Caitlin Clark, and I've said this before, you should win at least 20 to 25 games. You're bringing in, you have the rookie of the year already on your team with potentially the next rookie of the year. You should be able to win 20, 25 games very easily. Yesterday, when you look at the Phoenix Mercury, nobody even talks about Cooper. Nobody even talks about Khalid Cooper, who damn near had 40 points. Nobody talks about that, but like I said, I think people pick and choose the WNBA because I just think that folks like to pick and choose and pick subjects where they think that race and all these other things can be talked about. Because let's be frank, folks, a lot of people don't really have much to talk about when it comes to sports. They like storylines. They like to bring controversy, and that's just the bottom line when it comes to it. So it is what it is. Now, what's not controversial is this: A'ja Wilson's the best player in the WNBA. And there's really no question about that. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. Yesterday, if you see the stat line, 33 points, 18 rebounds, 5 blocks. Now, and again to this dynamic of the rookies that we have in the league now, I think the thing that really bothers me and pisses me off more than anything is we talk about, if it wasn't for the rookies, if it, the league wouldn't be doing this and that. They had record WNBA finals last year. The women's basketball has always been very popular. If you go back to the 90s, even before the WNBA came to existence, you had Dawn Staley, Cheryl Swoops. They were on the Martin Show with Rebecca Lobo. Back in those days, you have really good basketball teams. But the league has hit some roadblocks. I mean, think about it. You dissolved the Houston Comets, which is one of the greatest franchises in WNBA history. Hell, in sports, because they won 4 straight. You dissolved the Detroit Shock, who were just an absolute juggernaut. There are other franchises that were dissolved. You only right now at the time have one California team. That one California team is not even that good. The Los Angeles Sparks. They're one of the great franchises that have ever been in WNBA. Besides the ones I just mentioned, the Comets, the Sparks, the Seattle Storm, teams like that. And even you can throw in the Phoenix Mercury. But those teams dissolved, and those teams were very important. I also think that the Maya Moore situation, her retiring, hurt the league. I also think that right now we're going through a time in WNBA where it's a lot of confusion because we have people out there who are actually disrespecting the great Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi, who won 3 national championships in a row at University of Connecticut, a champion, the all-time leading scorer in the WNBA's history, but yet and still people continue to disrespect this woman and she disrespected Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin, listen, folks, I understand that a lot of you like Caitlin Clark. I get it. She's going to be a great player. She's really good this year. But I think a lot of you all are just going overboard. I think a lot of you all just want attention. I think a lot of you just want to be seen. I think a lot of you just want to be heard. And a lot of you just, quite frankly, don't know a damn thing about women's basketball. Hell, some of you probably don't know anything about basketball. You're just riding the gravy train. You're riding the train of, let me follow Caitlin Clark because it's cool. Let me get on board with Caitlin Clark. They don't like white players. I've heard the craziest things. Like, oh, they don't like her because she's white and straight. What the hell does that have to do with anything? There are plenty of straight players in WNBA. You just don't see it because for a long time it wasn't advertised. Because you have women in the league who, may, you have plenty of beautiful women in WNBA. You have plenty of women who are, attractive women. They just may not like men. That ain't my business. That shouldn't be your damn business. People want to. I have nothing against that. You do what you want to do. That's your personal life. But I think the problem I truly have is them saying, because I think one time there was this clown who was on YouTube, somebody talking about Caitlin Clark, and I gave him an example of all the white players who've ever been in the WNBA who were straight. I should have given the name all the black players. But that's the problem. We have people watching the game for not basketball. They don't care about the basketball. They care about the other BS that nobody really cares about. They watch the game for the game. When people come on television and especially on these TV networks, ESPN, FS1, blah blah blah. I will give one person credit. I'll give one person credit, and that is Skip Bayless. Besides the ladies they have on coming on TV sometimes talking about the games and whatnot, Skip Bayless does a very Skip, because I've been critical of Skip at times, but I have to give some love and credit here. At least when he comes onto the TV set, he's not just gibbering a bunch of gibberish, talking a bunch of stupid crap out of his mouth like some people on TV. I also got to give a shout out to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp actually, I believe, watches the game. He actually gives us a good summary of everything that happens. So, shout out to Shannon Sharp on that. Shout out to Skip Bayless. They should still be together, but hey, things happen and people break up. So it is what it is. But I believe both of them have done a good job of breaking down the women's basketball game on television. Unlike some other people. We won't say their names, but it's all good. Last night, folks, let's get to another subject here. Last night, we had a brawl in Baltimore as the Yankees threw at the head of one of the players from Baltimore. And I could argue, folks, I could truly argue here that the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees is becoming a lot bigger, and I'm not going to say it's a better rivalry. I don't want Red Sox fans to lose their minds, but I'm saying it is a good possibility that this rivalry between the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees is getting a lot hotter than the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Let's be honest about this, folks. The Red Sox-Yankees rivalry hasn't been the same since the Red Sox came back in 2004. And the reason I say it is this. Everybody wants to win the chip, right? Everybody wants to win the chip. Everybody in sports, oh, I want my team to win the chip. What happens next? It's like the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't won a championship since 96. And their story is they can't win, so it just makes them bigger. See, sometimes, folks, it's not about winning. It's about what storyline can you provide. The Jets, they haven't won a championship since 1969. What else? The Cleveland Indians, they haven't won a championship since forever. Never won a championship. Blah, blah, blah. When is the last time they won a championship? They've been close so many times. In the 90s, they had a 3-1 lead. Gave it up against the Cubs. It's all, sometimes sports, folks, is about the story. And when I look at the Red Sox and you look at the Yankees, right now the story is a little dull because after they broke the curse of the Bambino, what else did they have after that? Yeah, next year, you had the Pedro Martinez situation and all that stuff, and it was pretty heated. But hey, it hasn't been the same rivalry in a long time. It doesn't feel like the same rivalry. Maybe it's different to me because times have changed. Because I know, like back in those days when it was Red Sox Yankees, it was must-see TV. Now it's just like, But hey, I think that this Yankees and Orioles, that this head-to-head is going to get better throughout the year. I think it's going to get better through the years because the Baltimore Orioles folks aren't going anywhere. That down in the cellar team that we saw maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, that's over with. This team is built to last for a long time. They're going to continue to draft well. They're going to continue to do great things as far as picking up valuable free agents. The Baltimore Orioles are going to be here. The Yankees are going to try to get Soto locked up into a contract after this year. They're going to have to continue to try to get younger. Excuse me. The pitching is going to have to get better for the Yankees because they're going to have to deal with the Baltimore Orioles. Eventually, the Red Sox are going to continue to get better. If we actually go to the standings, let me give you guys the standings of the AL East because the Red Sox are only about 4 games out. When I asked them, I look now they're only 4.5 games behind the Yankees. The Red Sox have been playing some really good baseball. They've won 7 out of the last 10 games. They lost their last game yesterday to the Kansas City Royals, a Kansas City Royals team who is also hot on the trail of trying to get a wild card spot. If you look at the AL right now, the teams that are in front of the wild card race are the New York Yankees, the Minnesota Twins, and the Boston Red Sox. Yes, folks, the Boston Red Sox have come back from the dead. They are I've told you guys this last week to 2 weeks ago that the Boston Red Sox are a dangerous team, and you have to watch out for them. But the AL is getting interesting. You have the Kansas City Royals, who are basically tied with the Red Sox. So if they beat them today, they should be taking over that wild card spot. The Houston Astros are 1.5 games back. I told everybody, you got to watch for that team. You got to watch for the Astros. They're going to get healthy. They're going to get better throughout the season. Now, if you are the Seattle Mariners, you better get a hold of this division because, again, the Houston Astros are a game back. And the Texas Rangers are 7 back and the Angels are 12 back. Those teams don't matter. They're not going to come into play here. When the Yankees beat up on the Astros in the first part of the season, I believe it was the first couple of games of the season, Yankees fans, I tried to warn them. I said, look, the Astros are going to get healthy. The Astros are going to get their pitching together. And they're going to start to play better baseball towards the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, it's going to be on. And right now, folks, it looks like it's on. Because let's be honest, last year, if it hadn't been for the Texas Rangers, the Astros are playing for another World Series. And that's the last team you want to see in the World Series, folks. That is the last team you want to see. So if you are the AL right now, you got to be very wary of this team. Now, let's go to the Phillies. They just beat up on the Dodgers. They dominated them. And what did they do in their first game against the Oakland Athletics? They lose 6-2. If you're the Phillies, you win. How many games do they have in this series, by the way? Let's see here. I know that what's today? Today is the 13th of July. I don't know if that game is going to be played today or not. It may get rained out. I don't know what the weather is up there in Philadelphia. They got 3 games against the A's. They got 3 games against the Pirates. They got to go to Minnesota for 3 games. Then they play the Guardians, which is it's a very dangerous series because the Guardians are very good. They got the Yankees. They got the Mariners going into August at the Diamondbacks versus the Marlins, Nationals, and then they got the Braves finally at Atlanta on August the 20th through the 22nd. And then they got the Astros, they got the Royals, the Astros, the Braves, Blue Jays, Marlins, Mets, Brewers, Mets, and Nationals. If you're the Philadelphia Phillies, reading through that schedule I just read too, right? I just read you through their schedule. You got to be very careful. I told you guys, I'm already picking the Philadelphia Phillies to win this division. They have the hitting. They have the potential MVP and Bryce Harper. They have all the components that you need. The Phillies, nothing that the Phillies have. The Phillies don't have anything that can hold them back from winning this division. From winning the division and going on to the NLCS and then to the World Series. They have nothing. But sometimes history can be against you as well. Right now, the Braves are 8.5 back. I do not expect the Braves to win this division. But if the Braves somehow do win this division, they're going to win it in August. Remember I said that. If the Braves somehow come back and win this division, they will win it in August. The Phillies have a tough schedule. The Phillies sometimes in the past, last couple of years, they finished strong. Now, they started strong. We'll see how they finish. We'll see if the opposite happens. I believe if you're the Atlanta Braves, you want to go into the playoffs not winning division, because we've seen what happens. They win 90+ games. They win 100+ games. They go into the playoffs. They don't look like they're ready to play. They feel like they're overconfident. And what happens? The Phillies take them down every time. I think the Braves need to go into the playoffs as the underdog, as a team that nobody really wants to play, the team that people think is just going to go out, in their opening game, and then in the divisional round. I just don't like. I don't like the Braves' chances of getting to a World Series, and either an NLCS. I like the Phillies' chances, but we shall see, because we've seen top teams the last few years go down. So we will definitely see, folks, how that goes. Now, just a reminder, today we have the Liberty against the Sky. I'm picking the Sky to win that because for some reason the Liberty do not play well on the road against teams they should beat. So I'll pick the Liberty in that. Andrew Reese gets another double-double. We have the Sparks and the Wings today. That game is at 3:30. That game is on CBS. This is basically the Paige Becker's Bowl, unless Juju Watkins decides to come out. So whoever loses this game has the inside track. I personally think that, and I would never tell a team to tank, I really think that the Sparks need to tank because the Sparks need stars. Right, the Sparks need stars. They screwed up not getting Angel Reese. Cameron Brink is out for the season. Hopefully, she'll be ready for the next part of next year's season. But the Los Angeles Sparks have not won. They basically lost 9 games in a row on the road. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how everything plays itself out today. But definitely check out the Liberty and the Liberty and the Sky today at 1 o'clock. That game is on ESPN. And then we have the Liberty against the Wings on CBS at 3:30. So make sure you check out those games. Tomorrow night, me and Larry have a great show for you guys, episode 63. Make sure you check us out. We have a little fantasy talk where we talk about what would have happened if the 98-99 Minnesota Vikings had actually beat the Falcons and we got a Broncos versus Vikings Super Bowl. It would have been epic. It would have been great. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, plus other subjects in the world of sports. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the Robb Johnson Sports Show, episode 62. Make sure you guys also check out Robb Johnson Entertainment. That's my comedy channel where I do comedy and things like that. That's outside the sports realm. So, yeah, make sure you check that out. And, hey, just get ready for a quick. Before we leave, I'm going to tell the world how I feel. Pretty much, folks, the way I feel is this way right here. I think that we all need to come together as a world, as a nation, as a world. We need to put silly things aside. We need to put stupid things aside. And we need to stop letting things divide us. Like I said earlier, folks, we're letting basketball divide a nation. I mean, what is this, 1994 again with 95 with OJ? I mean, come on, folks. What are we really doing out here? Laugh more, love more, try to be a good person. None of us are perfect, but try to just love life a little more, folks. There's too many miserable people out here. Stop being so miserable with life. Life is valuable. Life is short. So just love life more. That's my tell the world today, man. Just love life more because it's very short and we are all on borrowed time. But speaking of borrowed time, my time is up. You guys have a great day. Make sure you check out episode 63 tomorrow night at 8:40 p.m. Eastern on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and Robb Johnson Media. Presents the Robb Johnson Sports Show featuring Larry Patterson. I will see you guys later.
It's caught in the crossfire.